So today we've got exploding 25 cal pellets, and we've got a brake barrel, and this is how you can make your brake barrel so much more powerful. I'm talking crazy power. Watch this. Oh yeah, baby. That's what you get with the exploding pellets. No, I'm just kidding. I actually had a Firebird target on there, but these exploding pellets are pretty serious. So stay tuned, guys, and we're gonna check out some of the EGW exploding pellets out of a brake barrel today and really ratchet up the spiciness of your Gamo 25 cal Magnum. Test your standard brake barrel right here and see if we can make it even more powerful. And no, I'm not talking about the old school dieseling stuff that everybody knows about. Put a little Vaseline or a little oil or whatever on the back of your pellet. It's gonna make it shoot 1,000,000 feet a second, be super powerful. That's not what we're doing today. We're doing something, I think, even more cool than that. And what I'm talking about are these guys right here. Exploding pellets from Edgun West. Now these, you can make them yourself. You know, I've heard a couple of different recipes for this kind of stuff. People talking about putting primers on the tips of their pellets or grinding up the match heads and something like that. But what I think is pretty cool about this is that they come out of the box ready to rock. You know they're gonna work. These definitely aren't for plinking. These are for serious popping. So we're gonna try some of those versus some H&N Hornets. Now these are a super great penetrating pellet, very powerful. I mean, that tip on there just will smack through just about anything and makes for a very lethal pellet. So I thought, let's test some of these guys, which are some of the most gnarliest pellets you can really get right there, versus some of the exploding pellets. And we're gonna test them against some metal, some wood, and some water. And we're gonna see, you know, does adding that explodey sauce to the tip there make it more powerful? I think it's going to. We're gonna run them both over the chronograph so we know kind of what our baseline for power is, but I think that explosive charge is gonna push us a little bit over the edge, gonna ratchet it up just a little bit with those EGW pellets. So let's get it started on the metal and see who can do the better job penetrating a hard surface like some galvanized steel. Here we go. All right, so starting off with kind of the least interesting as far as to watch, but the hardest to penetrate first, and that is the galvanized steel that we've got over there. So we're gonna shoot this with the H&N Hornets first. We've got our chronograph set up for these first shots because I wanna know foot-pounds wise, what are we getting with just regular pellets and what are we getting with the explodey pellets, foot-pounds of course, but I think that might be a little irrelevant with those explodey pellets, or at least it might be increased. We're just gonna have to see. So let's go ahead and take this first shot and see what it registers on the chronograph. "744 feet a second. From here, it looks like that punched straight through the metal. So I'm gonna take just one more shot just to be sure that that's, you know, a consistent sort of a velocity for us. And just double check that, yes, indeed, that is punching through. But from here, I do think I see daylight on the other side. So let's take one more shot here. "738 feet a second. So definitely good consistency as far as over the chronograph there, numbers wise, with those H&N Hornets. All right, so here we are on the piece of galvanized steel. We've got two clean punches with those H&N Hornets. So be interesting to see if the H&N Hornet has more penetration on a hard surface like the metal because of that penetrating tip that it has, versus if I shoot this thing with the explodey pellet, if it's gonna penetrate and explode its way through. So that's what we're gonna do next. See what they do over the chronograph and see if we can get that good or better on the metal with those Edgun West explodey pellets. Let's do that. All right, that time I definitely hit the metal and read it over the chronograph. So we've got 656. Let's go see what that did down here on the metal. And I mean, it made a serious impact, but definitely if you want penetration into a hard object or hard surface, you know, something with more of like intended for that penetration type purpose, like an H&N Hornet is going to be the clear winner over an exploding pellet, which I just think is kind of interesting. What would be really interesting is to make some of our own H&N Hornets and dip the tips of those. That might work really awesomely. Hard to say if we'd be able to get enough explosive on the tip of there or not, but you know, if you guys want to make some of those for me and send them up my way, I will gladly share my shipping information with anyone that sends me an email down in the description below. So anyways, let's move along here. I think that's enough testing on the steel. We've got wood and water next, so let's get those set up and let her rip. All right, so here we are at about 5 yards is all. We're gonna do 2 shots into our 3/4 inch thick piece of pine board with the Hornets, and then 2 shots into the pine board with the EGW exploding pellets, and see which one makes a better or bigger hole in the pine board. So here we go, first shot with the Hornet. All right. Shot number 2 with the Hornet. All right. Now we go shot number 1 here with one of these explodey bad boys. You can see I'm running low on my supply. All right, here we go. Wow. I think on the wood, those explodey pellets definitely do a little bit more than the regular pellet. Got one more. Nice. I think I hit that one like right on my X, my aim point there. So I think on a hard surface like metal, it's just too hard. So there's not any way for the pellet to start to penetrate before it explodes. Now, on a surface like wood, what I think is starting to happen and why we're seeing a bigger difference on the explodey pellets versus the regular pellets is because the explodey pellet is actually starting to penetrate the wood for a split second before that explosive happens, and then it's just exploding out once it's already inside. I mean, you can imagine that's going to be more gnarly. So let's go check these out. Yeah, I mean, clearly a lot more gnarly, like way more gnarly. Look at that. Look at the backside. All right, with the Hornets, we've got one punch out there, did take a little chunk, and another punch out there, pretty much didn't really do much. Clean holes on the front side though with those, but with the explodey pellets, literally we've got chunks out the front side that are bigger than the chunks that the Hornets took out of the backside. And then when you flip it around, I mean, it's just all burned and missing giant pieces of the wood. That is a way more impressive of an impact. So interesting to see that although foot-pounds wise they're, you know, on paper about the same, those exploding pellets are exploding the difference right there. So last up, we've got some water. And I thought it would be interesting. Metal, wood, water. So here we go with some water. See if that exploding effect is just extinguished by the water and there's no difference really at all, or if we can see a difference. So we've got some I've got some bottles of dyed water over here. We're gonna set them up just like we did with the wood. Shoot it first with the Hornet, then with the Explodey, and see if that big bang makes any big difference. Whoa! Try some of those pellets, look them up, Ed Gun West. If you guys like this video today, check out one of the other couple of videos up on the screen right now. Hang out with me some more, and I'll see you guys over there.